tripping, so that was step one. Good morning, parents, honored guests, esteemed faculty, and soon-to-be graduates. It is truly my honor and privilege to be up here speaking to you today. And I would like to take this moment to personally congratulate the graduating class of 2015. It has been 4 years in the making, but seniors, we finally made it. Over these past 4 years, we have each grown in ways that our young, Frosh-Fox attending self could have never imagined. We are not the same person who accidentally walked into the wrong classroom on the first day of freshman year, or who got a detention for wearing the wrong color of socks, or who dropped all of their books down the overcrowded Riverside building stairs. And while unfortunately many of us still make these mistakes, we are finally at a point where we can laugh about it, or at least write about it in our senior surveys. We have endured the endless hours of studying, the grueling college application process, and the overall stress associated with high school. So today is our day. It is a day to reflect on our accomplishments, on the lasting friendships that we have made, and on the moments that we have all too often taken for granted. In preparing for today, I watched countless videos of commencement speeches at some of our nation's finest universities. And in doing so, I realized that despite the very different universities and approaches that each speaker took, every speech touched upon the idea of success. And while it is easy for me to simply wish success upon Notre Dame's graduating class, this naturally begs the question of what exactly is success? How does one define something that is so subjective and for many people so intangible? Because despite the dictionary's claim that success is the accomplishment of an aim or purpose, this aim or purpose is different for each and every one of you. Success does not have a universal definition, so instead, I have decided to impart 3 final wishes on you, the class of 2015. And hopefully, these wishes will help each of you discover what exactly success means and entails in your own life. First, I encourage each of you to trust your instincts and follow your heart. This sounds cliche, and it's definitely easier said than done, but in the words of Steve Jobs, your heart and intuition somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary. Never settle and never be afraid to follow the road less traveled. If you hit bumps or get lost along the way, just keep going. Have faith that everything will be okay, because as many of us learned on Kairos, life is difficult and time is limited. So I encourage you not to waste it doing something that you do not love. Find your passion and pursue it. Again, everything else is secondary. My second wish is for each and every one of you to learn from your future failures. Because despite what has been taught for the majority of your structured lives, there is value in failure. Accordingly, there is a reason that one of the Common App prompts this year, and I know this is a name that none of us ever wanted to hear again, but there is a reason that they specifically asked about failure and not about success. Yes, even the makers of the Common App recognize the inherent value of failure and its ability to put our lives in perspective. As Conan O'Brien so eloquently touched upon in his commencement speech at Dartmouth, it is our failure to become our perceived ideal that ultimately defines us. It's not easy, but if you accept your misfortune and handle it right, your perceived failure can become a catalyst for profound reinvention. And this is exactly what I hope for you, the graduating class of 2015. I hope that you learn to fall down with dignity, to take risks, to challenge yourself, and to exceed your own expectations. And it is okay to make a mistake in doing so, because ultimately we are not defined by how many times we fall down, but rather by how many times we can pick ourselves back up. Finally, my last wish is for each and every one of you to enjoy the little moments in life. Remind yourself to take a step back and recognize the beauty and love that so constantly surrounds you. Say thank you to those teachers who have made your time at Notre Dame worthwhile. Tell your friends and parents just how much you love them, and try not to get caught up in the everyday stress and anxiety that so often consume our lives. Trust that even when times get difficult, there is a plan for you. This plan may not always be so clear, and it may not necessarily be your plan, but trust me when I say that you will end up where you are supposed to be. Your graduation from Notre Dame is just one link in a long chain of accomplishments that will come to define your life. So don't stop now. Follow your heart, learn from your mistakes, embrace life, and love the person that you become. Everything else is secondary. Thank you.
Thank you, Rachel. What a great speech and representative of this great class. Now, what shall all